How do you reclaim a city as your own? One so abused and disfigured that you no longer recognize it. How do you find light in that darkness? In Raqqa, they're still trying. This is Paradise Square, anything but during 3 years of ISIS rule, the site of public executions and heads on spikes. Today, it's been given a facelift, even an I Love Raqqa sign. But this is a place still chasing ghosts. Ahmed Al-Habour Mohammed sold books here from the age of 16 until ISIS arrived and burned them. He's kept the sign full of bullet holes. Cigarettes weren't allowed, he says. Women couldn't walk by themselves. We couldn't chat like this. It was hard. Around the corner at the museum, looted in the early days of the war, the building then taken over by ISIS, Mehmed Al-Ezzo says they didn't just try to destroy people's spirit, they did it. When you see people hanged, tortured, beheaded in the square, that's what it did. It's not just 3 years under ISIS rule that has traumatized the people of Raqqa. They also endured an intense bombing campaign by the US-led coalition trying to root ISIS out. There are still only small signs of rebuilding in a universe of destruction, and war still stalks Syria, the currency in freefall. Vendors say they're not selling because people can't buy. What we care about at the end of the day is that we have something to eat, says this shepherd. Poor people can't even afford meat. It leaves little time for emotional healing, but there are signs of hope popping up here and there. Back at the bookshop, Al-Habour Mohammed says when ISIS burned his books, he told himself all of Syria is being destroyed. I won't cry over some books. Today he's got Dostoevsky on his shelves again, books from around the world. He is reclaiming his city by hanging on to who he is.
So Margaret has now crossed the border back into Iraq tonight and joins us. So Margaret, Raqqa definitely looks different than it did 3 years ago when we were there. You know conflict, you know Syria, and to a degree you knew what to expect going into it. And I'm curious, what's taken you off guard this time?
Adrian, I guess the same thing that usually takes me off guard in Syria, especially when you're dealing with cities that have been so utterly destroyed, and that's the ability of the normal and the abnormal to coexist so quickly. For example, outside the bookseller's shop, you'd see older gentlemen gathering to gossip, read the newspaper, could be anywhere, walk around the corner, and all of a sudden you're staring at a vast concrete wasteland, and people still manage somehow to live between the cracks.
Margaret, what do you think we should be all watching out for next?
Well, there's been a worrying uptick in pro-regime airstrikes in Idlib recently, where so many civilians are taking shelter. But beyond that, I'd be looking to the economic crisis. That's what so many people in Raqqa really wanted to talk to us about. Before the war, the value of the Syrian pound was about 47 to the US dollar. It's now more than 4,000. And while many people would tell you that Bashar al-Assad has more or less clinched the war, or almost clinched the war in his favor, it's also stalled to a certain effect. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the impact of the economic crisis might be on that. Adrian.
Okay, thank you, Margaret, to you and Steph and JF for all that reporting. Thank you.